right. We can talk about anything you like. Just listen. Take a walk right over to my kitchen. What you wanna do? Come mix it up with the stew. So tell me what you wanna do. Come mix it up with the stew. Yeah, come mix it up with the stew.
And welcome to another awesome week of The Stew. Thank you for tuning in. Boy, do we have a lot in store for you today, but we're going to get things kicked off first with a little girl chat. But oh no, wait, I almost forgot. We've got to talk about the fact that Carnival, the date, has changed yet once again. Gosh, I didn't know that the Bahamas was advertising for an HGTV episode.
I know.
Flip or flop.
Well, of course, there was a lot of drama that ensued when they changed the dates. I mean, travel was booked.
Yes.
People had plans going on.
People got a life.
And it changed. I mean, there was a reason why they chose the date in the first place, right? Other carnivals may be going on, other things to do. People have lives. So changing it back was a smart decision, but boy, does it make us look dumb.
You know what it feels like for me? It's like being in a relationship with someone who ain't sure what they want to do.
Yes.
So it's like, today, baby, you know, I can't do this. I want to work on myself.
Yes.
And then they come back a week later, baby, I thought I could do it without you, but
Yeah,
I can't.
I can't.
And then you get back with them, and then they're like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
and
this just
it
ain't working.
It
Yeah.
keeps.
Yeah, this flip or flopping thing, like I tell you, it really just makes the Bahamas
I'm
look
exhausted.
bad.
It makes it
on
look
the
bad,
whole.
but I mean, I do think the carnival groups had a big role to play in it too.
You mean being switched back to the original?
Exactly.
Yeah,
had
of
a
course.
huge role in that.
Of
Because I
course.
mean, again, you know, people had plans.
Yes.
People needed, you
Yeah,
know, had
yeah.
you know, not travel booked, but they had artists booked for their different events and things like
Exactly.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
it would have cost just a heap load
It just
of money.
reflects
Yeah.
once again. What you see in this, that's something for Carnival, just exposes what it must be like in making decisions for anything in the country. You can't even get Carnival right. You cannot be thoughtful enough to give it enough thought and planning and advertising that it needs to succeed.
Well,
so why
Anika,
do you think that they're going to do
the
this
day they
anywhere else?
changed
It's Carnival.
The date, they changed the date, or they announced the date in The Guardian. They also had an ad running for Carnival in the same paper.
But
You know
what
what I
I
mean?
found
It's
even any
complete disorganization.
communication.
What I found so interesting, though, too, I think it all happened on Instagram as well, within like a 24-hour period, and that just totally tripped me out. And I'm thinking, poor planning, like lack of vision. Where's the foresight here?
Not just that, you should not even ever be able to see that. I'm pretty sure a lot of companies and places put on big productions, big things, but if stuff hitting the fan backstage, you know, you have no idea. So it's like, who's doing this?
And
like,
think,
can they be less sloppy?
it was all...
It's embarrassing.
It was all with respect to the upcoming and impending elections, which, again, this is another
slop
classic
fest.
example of why we should have fixed dates.
Yeah.
The same way I do believe the intention for Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival to be on that first weekend in May.
You're right.
Let
Let's
the
just do
elections
it.
be the same way. The second or the
Exactly.
third, whatever, in May. I
do it.
just can't.
Can't deal with the drama. Can't
Yeah,
deal
you
with
can't.
the
You
drama.
talk
Let's
plenty.
have some girl chat, y'all. Let's have some girl chat, man.
So, in spirit of carnival, then, in this realm, I know that carnival is synonymous with a lot of gyrating and dancing on each other. Tell me something, because I've been to Trinidad Carnival before, and you know, in the Bahamas, it's really big that as a woman you can't dance with anyone else if you have a man.
Right.
But now, what if a woman decided to come and gyrate and dance on your man during carnival? What would you do?
For me, but I imagine, you know, because I feel like if I out with you at Carnival, I know the kind of environment it's gonna be. Now, I don't really know.
You gotta keep that down to 2 seconds.
Yeah,
So 1, 2,
that's what
out.
I'm saying. Like, it's a carnival itself is a free-spirited event, you
Yeah,
know, where
but see, I
people
don't
just
trust
having
these
fun,
gals.
expressing
I
themselves.
don't trust these
But
gals.
see, it gotta be like a total and complete stranger, and preferably someone that does not reside in the Bahamas.
Girl, you on to something.
No, but who's really gonna
I'm
be
just
in?
saying.
No, but who's gonna be on a carnival line checking this checklist? Wait, are you from the Bahamas?
No, I know.
Do you have a big butt?
I know, girl.
No,
If we're
okay.
talking about my man, I'm there with the pen and the paper. So, what year were you
No,
born in?
straight up. I'm scoping the joint, and
What's your sign?
I might have
Really?
to
Tell
me
make
now.
some stereotypical decisions. Yes, I may, but
I just feel like why go through all of that
Definitely.
if you could be a kind of a like if you're gonna be a, why go through all of that if you know the environment?
well, like
You know
Janae
what I mean?
said,
I
keeping
just-
it short. This thing on a time
we
out.
know the
One,
environment, but I done know my
Two.
culture.
Yes.
And it ain't a part of my culture. So these vultures,
and
that's
definitely
what I call
hold
them,
on.
will be. I mean,
Yeah, no, but definitely no
now
friends.
if we in Trinidad,
no
fine,
friends.
fine. We
No
don't do
friends.
nobody.
Because you think those girls know for sure. This only you got 5
Come
seconds
on,
on the man
they
and you go.
know these are the same girls that you see at the pair every week. They don't be dancing on any and everybody. So why you dancing on him today? Because it's carnival? Please. Talk to me now. So moving right along.
Yes. So, what would you do then if your friend's man hit on you? Yeah.
Boy, so let me tell
Can't
you.
be speechless now. All that thing you had to say, Miss Lady.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
what would you do? Tell your friend, no?
See, you can tell your friend. You know why I can't tell my friends? So, my friends tell me I'm so nice, and people naturally think I'm flirting anyway because I'm nice. So I feel like if I tell my friend her man hit on me, she would think it was my fault. That's my
Yeah.
conundrum.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, so you know the right thing to do is to tell your friend. But because I'm a
No, but
nice friend,
see,
people think that I'm flirting.
What you do in that sense is you tell the other friend, so that friend can tell the friend.
And then,
Yeah.
What?
Les.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, if you are
Les.
not comfortable enough, if you think
So-
your friend is going to attack you, if you think
Then she's
Jane
gonna
is
be
going
mad
to
that I
attack
wasn't woman
you,
enough to come to her.
No, but the
No,
friend's
the-
friend is going to stand up for the friend who was hit on? Because then that would make sense. Like, oh, you know, he hit on me, but he didn't really hit on her. He hit on her friend, which is also
listen,
her
if
friend.
y'all cool
I'm
enough,
confused.
if you cool enough, let's say Jane's friend is the one doing the hitting on you, her man, right? But Sarah, you and Sarah cool enough, like she's your girl, she's your dog, she's your wingman. You could trust her enough to say to Jane, listen, I saw XYZ happening. You need
But
to
then
know
she might
this.
still think that I caused it.
Oh, child, I don't know what to tell you
Yeah,
then. You
that don't happen to me at all.
you got issues.
I tell them straight, and then I mean that's just I would want to know. I
Yeah,
would want to
no,
know.
I
So
would wanna
it's
tell
all
her.
Certainly.
About, it's all about
I'm
it.
just scared. She,
I
Yeah.
know,
You're
but
so
we
and then maybe that's the
Anika,
case.
We gotta suck it up, and we
Yeah,
gotta
maybe
just
that's the case
take
where you
that
just have
risk,
to
man.
bite the bullet and, you know,
Yeah.
take the bull by the horns and be like, look, this is
I
what
don't know.
happened.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard
Okay.
thing, right? Because I
Or
heard
send it in a text. Send it in a WhatsApp
That's the
message.
worst. You cannot do that over phone or email. That is like the worst thing you can
Okay,
do.
so tell me. So
Oh my
let's,
God,
But
she's the
okay,
worst.
on that, how do you feel? You should check a girl. Like, hey, girl, honey, boo boo. What do you say to her if you know she's hitting on your man? Well, I don't want anyone to say anything about me, but I know there's a lot of people out there that think I'm crazy.
But you've said it yourself, though.
Wait,
we
let her
don't
finish.
think that.
No, let her finish, please. That was a declaration of such. Go ahead.
Yes. Because I just don't act nice. I'm just not a nice person when I have these feelings of who are you and why are you here? You know, I'm just not. So
Yeah.
people think I'm crazy because then I'm not really nice to them.
That's great. I mean, protect your investment, right?
hey,
Surely.
hey,
So
hey,
get it.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean,
And-
it's yours to protect, so.
exactly.
What would I do? Boy, you know, it differs from person to person. But I don't think I've ever been in a position where I've had to really check a chick over something. But I do have just this natural thing about my face
Oh yeah.
that you just know. I don't think you want.
I think we
yeah.
all have
Yeah.
a little bit of that crazy in us. You know what I mean? Like, we'll just switch in a heartbeat.
Yeah, like, don't even make me get there.
Man,
told her-
I don't even be checking the girls, and then I get a message from John Doe later saying, "Oh, this girl think you so mean because you was checking." I'm like, I didn't even know who she was, but
So
honestly,
you didn't even say anything. This was just a look.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that she knew
She existed or
yes,
something.
and then all of a sudden I hear that I was checking her, and I don't know her. Oh God. That's like the worst.
Well, all I can say is I think I've been fortunate to not have had any of those experiences. I don't think I care to, but yeah, I think I might flip a script and
Oh, Les is a crazy. She's an
All right,
inner
well,
crazy.
on the bad side of relationships, this is
Yeah.
getting out of control. What do you ladies have to say about maybe the good side of the bed? Maybe. What are your thoughts on shacking up? Like even for you before you were married, but you
Do
guys,
it.
yeah.
I say do it. Why not? Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Why is it? Why not for you?
Fat frugal girl.
Man.
Gotta consolidate them bills early. Figure out who gonna pay for what before you actually do the commit hit.
Actually, I was thinking more along the lines of testing the water, you know, dipping that toe in that
that's
pool
one part to
first.
think about it, right? I don't want to. I don't think I would ever. You know, I've actually been in a space before where I did say, oh, I would definitely live with a guy before I married him. But now I don't want to at all. Like, I
Yeah.
want to enjoy you missing me in the evenings and like really looking forward to date night. And I mean, for me, for
You could do
personal,
that and live
for convictions
together.
as well. I mean, just for me in terms of,
Yeah.
for me, honoring
You know what that makes me
marriage
think
is
of?
for me.
Why buy the cow when you can milk it for free?
And that's what I was going to say initially.
Yeah, but what
it's
about
like
too if
testing
you
out the
have
waters.
spiritual or your religious convictions
Yeah.
as well? So because that's what's a huge part of it is for me.
For me, personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. I say it's again one of those things in life that if it works for you, then do it. You got to do what works for you.
Yeah.
And yes, if it is a personal issue in terms of somebody's
It's not
religion.
an issue. Don't say it's an issue.
Well, a personal
personal
belief.
preference.
or-
Yeah. Well, you see, that's the problem there. They're saying personal issue. It's not an
Well,
issue.
that was a
it's
slip of the
preference.
tongue then. We just
Okay.
ignore that. All
Yeah.
right, we just erase that bit. But no,
Okay.
if it's a personal preference,
Uh-huh.
then by all means, I just think that people that choose to do it shouldn't be judged by those that don't.
Agreed.
And likewise,
Agreed.
those that.
Agreed. Nobody
Anyway,
should
y'all
judge
know what I
anybody.
mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
never judge anybody for
I don't
that
say anything
decision.
wrong. Now, granted, I don't know if I would do it personally, although I have sort of in the past. It worked out fine.
Yeah, you
know
just
what I
leave
mean?
most of your
But-
clothes by your mummy's
Yeah.
house.
You start with the toothbrush.
And then, just make
And
it
then,
gradual.
you know,
like,
just,
I never officially lived anywhere other than my mom's house. Hey. And
But
that's
you
the story
had,
I'm
like,
sticking to.
you know,
That's
an
the story I'm
extra
sticking to, Les.
change
That
of
is all I'm saying.
underwear and
That's
All
all
right,
I'm
so
saying.
then go to the drawer.
We're about to
all
get into underwear
I'm
talk,
saying.
but before
Hi, Auntie.
for
Love
more
you.
for more underwear talk, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk to Relish on the next side of the break.
Yes.
Stay tuned. The stew will be right back. Welcome back to the stew. If you've been watching, if you are a faithful fan, you would have seen Style Minute, and I'm so happy today that Style Minute is extending beyond style tips for ladies, and we are about to relish in some comfortable socks for men. Give it up for Jarrell. Janae is like, we're gonna How are you this
I'm doing
morning?
great. I'm doing great.
First of all, you are sharp. I mean,
As a tack.
Yeah, you
Thank
are
you.
extremely
Yes.
sharp, and I think every lady can appreciate a well-dressed man, a man that's presented extremely well. Tell us about Relish and how that ties in with male style.
All right, so Relish pretty much is obviously a sock company, and we're focused on pretty much providing that swag, that style, that that extra something to the guy's wardrobe, and what way to do it better than through socks.
Nice. So is it safe to say that sock is one staple, or like how you have a bow tie? Is that one staple that every man should have, a great pair of socks?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. And you look at a guy and he's sitting down and he's at a table, or he's at a bar and he's sitting on a high stool. You're gonna look from his head to his toes, and then what I used to notice is that you would find that there's always like this kind of blank canvas going on down
Yes,
there. Like it's
yes.
either black
And it
or
looks
it's either
naked.
blue.
It looks gross too. It looks like you're barefoot.
And I'll be
Jeans
honest.
vest down there.
I'll be honest, I have judged a man by his sock.
Really?
I really have. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's deep.
So
'Cause
when,
first-
when it's the dirty, like, black sock
Or the
popping
white
out.
ones.
Right.
My
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
it with the
You know
white
what I'm
ones.
saying? It's, yeah.
So
yeah.
Stop
Darrell,
it.
you are the owner and founder of Relish, the
Yep,
sock
correct.
company. So tell us about how that came about for you. And I mean, crazy story. You're actually not a designer, but you designed the socks. So
Yeah,
what inspires all of this?
Yeah, so, you know, it pretty much all started, I would say, you know, it's maybe 3 years ago. And this is when, you know, I was working and I was actually at Bahama. And, you know, obviously things started to go a bit bad with that. And so I started to think about, you know, life after Bahama. What am I going to do? I always had this entrepreneurial spirit from when I was in my undergrad. And so I decided to, you know, think about socks. And I always liked to wear, you know, stylish socks. And I would get, you know, compliments here and there about the socks while I was to
Right.
work. And so, you know, started creating designs. I ran it by a few people that I worked with, and they all said, hey, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
And so the idea kind of, you know, died a bit. Went off to school to China to get my MBA. And within the last 4.5, 5 weeks that I was there, I said, hey, you know, I'm going back home. I'm in China. Why not try and put, you know, these design ideas
Right, right.
and get the socks done? And so
Yeah.
literally within, you know, 4.5 to 4 weeks or so, I was able to find a manufacturer,
Nice.
get the socks made, get
Yeah.
samples, and then kind of get it here to Nassau.
Was it important for you to incorporate the Bahamas? Because I've noticed that there's a lot of that Bahamian theme
Yeah.
in your socks. You've got the flamingo, you've got the coat of arms. It's all that island feel, but
Yeah.
it truly says Bahamas. How
Yeah.
important was it for you to incorporate your homeland?
Yeah, I think it was very important to me, and especially, you know, when you think about how beautiful the place is. And I'm very guilty of the fact that, you know, when I went off to school in Miami for my undergrad and then to China, you kind of get so engulfed in that culture and that way of life that you kind of sometimes forget about how beautiful it is to be home.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when I came back home initially and I saw it, wow, I didn't know I missed the beach so much.
Right.
You start to think about these things, and I thought, you know, what better way to kind of release relish, you know, than
That's
with,
a beautiful
Bahamian.
expression. I mean, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
take home with you anywhere all the little pieces that remind you of home. That is
Yeah.
extremely
Yeah.
exciting.
An interesting conversation we had earlier is about the time it took for you to actually bring this idea, bring this from the idea phase into execution.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, and more specifically, tell us about your Bahama experience and what that was like for you moving into this realm. of
So
Relish.
to get started again, it wasn't as difficult as I it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be to get started. Like I was talking to you guys earlier, I founded a company with my best friend called Startup Bahamas, and so we had that experience of starting businesses, getting business licenses and that sort of thing, and so it wasn't as difficult as I would have expected it to be.
Right.
And so I was able to get it started fairly quickly. And then kind of just being smart about a few things, you know, and sometimes people always rush to say, you know, go get a storefront. But is that necessarily the best thing to do given the high cost of electricity,
Yeah.
given all the extra cost that's
And the
involved
world
in
has
that?
changed.
Lots of
We do everything
overhead.
online.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's how I tried to mitigate risk and cost. As far as my experience at Bahama and how that affected me, I mean, I think the persons who worked at Bahama, including myself, were very entrepreneurial in our own right.
Yeah.
Very creative and also very focused on trying to incorporate the Bahamas and trying to be very open in terms of what we wanted to do. And so my experience there and working with the people who sometimes are very much smarter than you caused you to kind of go to that level where you have to go.
They challenge you.
Exactly. And so I think you'd find that, including myself and other persons who may have worked there, have done a lot of things since that, you know.
Right.
So
You
I think
see,
it's great.
important to surround yourself with the right people too, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you're challenged to think that way, then
Yeah.
look
think
at the
out
result.
of the
Yeah.
box.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Definitely.
And
So
look, so
will
much
you be
creativity
giving one of
spirit.
your socks to our dear Prime Minister anytime soon?
Yeah, well, I actually have already.
Have you?
I have, yeah. So
What was that like?
so that was pretty interesting. So back in July, actually, at the end of July, going into August, I met a friend and he said, "Hey, why don't you try and see if you can get some people to wear some socks?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I'm thinking about a few people." And so a family member of mine said, "Hey, why don't you try and see if you can get the Prime Minister some socks?" I said, "Okay, cool." So I got in touch with him, and I was able to go ahead and we had a meeting first. He wanted to know about the brand, find out how I felt about business and youth entrepreneurship. And so we had an extensive conversation for about 30 minutes
Good
before I
stuff.
actually got him in the socks. I think that was kind of like my interview.
Yeah.
And so I was able to do a courtesy call to the Prime Minister and was able to get the socks. And he tried them on, and I have a host of photos about it, but it was pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah. So what is next for Relish? What's upcoming?
Well, okay, so Relish, again, it's very exciting. I love doing it, and you know, I think what's happening now is I already have designs for some of the Caribbean islands, some of the Caribbean countries. So I'm going to be expanding. I'm going to be working with some local artists there to bring the designs on stream. And so I think it's very important, and you'll see this in the other designs that I do that focus on the Bahamas, that I'm going to not kind of rely on myself to do the designs, but I'm going to try and incorporate the talents that are here already. So, you know, local Bahamian designers. And so you're going to see some pretty cool things in the next few months.
Awesome. Where can people purchase a pair of socks from Relish?
Sure. So you can go on the Facebook page and you can put in an order there if you want to. Or if it's more convenient for you, you can go to Barnable Bones downtown, as well as in Mall at Marathon.
Okay.
And you can go to Molly for Men, Life for Key, and Paradise Island.
Nice.
And also, last but not least, YNG, the same store that, this is an Urban West store.
Yes.
They have pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So you can also buy some socks from there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
That's
talk about
amazing.
distribution.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Well,
Father's
thank you
Day
so
coming
much
up.
for coming
Yeah,
on.
Father's Day is coming up, that's true.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your sock. Oh,
Yeah.
for Father's Day, and is there another thing coming up?
Yeah,
No?
Independence is coming up.
Well,
So-
Yeah.
Oh, will there be
Yeah.
independent
Before that.
socks?
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on? Oh,
Independence.
there we go. Okay. So you heard it here. Check out Relish. You're watching The Stew, and we got some good stuff going on here. And Style Minute, too. I
Yes.
feel a Style Minute
I
coming
think
on.
we got to do one together.
Exactly. So right after this, we'll be going into some fabulously frugal stuff. Stay right here? Yeah, stay here. Welcome to your Fab Frugal Tip of the Week. Now today I'm really excited to talk to you about interview tips because we know Bahamar will soon be coming on stream and they'll be making their phone calls soon asking you to come in and see them. So we want you to be prepared. Be prepared for success. Be prepared with these interview tips. So the next thing I want to talk about is the dreaded question. What are your strengths? But more importantly, what are your weaknesses? Now, you need to be prepared in this question, but it's also a good way to really learn about yourself too. So great ways to answer this question. Hey, what are your weaknesses? Well, time to time, I actually spend a lot of time on one thing, or I multitask, or I try to do too many things at once. But how I actually combat that, or how I make sure that that doesn't happen for me, is I write lists and I like to plan and I organize my day so that I don't feel so overwhelmed taking on too many projects. Did you hear how that answer went? These are things you need to be prepared for, the hard questions. Don't worry about the easy questions, because if you can get the hard questions, you'll realize that the easy questions are just kind of preludes with the hard questions. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually not sounding too selfish in an interview, because it can be just a drainer. What can the company do for me? What am I going to be a part of? Why can I have this? These aren't questions you really want to focus on. There's actually a way that you can do it where you say, what impact will I have on the company? Or what does this role that you want to hire me for mean for the company? So you put the focus on the company and make it seem like your role needs to play an integral part in what's going to happen in the development of the company. People love to hear that. So I'd say stick to not being so selfish. It's not about you in this case. It's about what contributions you can make to the company. So lastly, I want to talk about another dreaded question. What are your salary expectations? This can be such a heart-wrenching, so scary when this question comes about. But stay calm, stay cool. Stay within a range that you're comfortable with. Don't go too low because you're desperate, but don't go too high because you actually want this job. That's why you're there. So you want to stay within a comfortable range. Stick with a range, not a figure. Don't tell them how much you make now. This is what I'm looking for. Now, if they ask you, hey, what are you looking for? Still, you want to stick to the range. I'm looking for X to X, and this is how I feel like this is justified, or these are the contributions that I will make to the company, which makes it justified. So you definitely don't want it to be closed-ended. Keep it open, but don't get scared, don't get choked up. These are the things that you're there for, to talk about what you expect and what they expect, and bring it all together. Again, don't sound too selfish, but this is the time for you to really show your negotiation skills. So this has been your Fab Frugal Tip of the Week. Make it a fabulous week. Don't forget, be prepared. You might get that call next week, you might get it in 2 weeks, you might get it in a couple of months, but remember to always be prepared. This has been your Fab Frugal Tip of the Week. We'll see you right after this.
Thank you for diving into yet another awesome episode of The Stew, and thank you so much to Relish for telling us a little bit about male style and how you gents can tie your look together with just a really cool pair of socks. Ladies, I thoroughly enjoyed Girl Chat today, as per usual.
Yes,
I think we need to start doing Girl Chat with marshmallows and
a little bonfire,
chocolate syrup for Janae's cheat days.
It just can't do it in the studio.
Well, no, I prefer
On the
other
couch.
stuff. But
Okay, well,
you could eat.
We can
you
add
could
that
eat.
too.
I'll do other stuff.
You'll just
Okay.
watch.
Yeah.
Got it.
Cool.
The only time my
Okay.
diet's done, guys.
Okay, there you go. Thank you so much again. Don't forget to watch the episodes of the show that you have missed. That is youtube.com/ILTV Studios. And the same applies to Facebook. So catch up. You have no excuses. Watch us. We'll see you next time.
When the vibe is right.